hanging overhead lights cast a greenish tint on the face of the jury foreperson as she passed the verdict form to the bailiff. As I stared at her, I wondered, was the color green a good sign or a bad one? I was hungry for an omen, some visible indication regarding the outcome of the trial. I wanted the woman to look at me. My eyes bored into her profile as I leaned in, the palms of my hands flat on the wooden surface of the council table. With all my might, I sent her an unspoken message. Look over here. At me. Do it. The foreman didn't glance my way, but I saw her briefly cut her eyes at the defense table before turning her attention to Judge Callahan. I exhaled, my shoulders sagging as I released the breath I'd been holding. Because that was a bad sign. Bad for me as the prosecutor, anyway. Judge Callahan reached out his black shrouded arm. When the bailiff handed the verdict to him, the judge pushed his eyeglasses up over the prominent bump on the bridge of his nose and peered through them to read. I'd often wondered how he got the big bump on his nose. It looked like something or someone had broken it for him in the past. With every prejudice ruling he'd made during the trial this past week, I'd fantasized about breaking his nose again. It would be simple. Just a sharp blow with my left fist. I imagined seeing blood spurt from his nostrils every time he ruled against me. He turned his gaze to the jury box. Giving them a small smile, just a twist of his lips, he asked, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict?" Several of them nodded. One juror, a young woman I'd pinned my hopes on, wore a defeated look as the foreman said, "It is, Your Honor." The judge took the sheet of paper, and it crackled into his microphone. He read, "We, the jury, find the defendant Maxwell Alfred James not guilty." The two defense lawyers flanking the defendant broke into jubilant grins. One of them slapped Max James on the back, snickering like a teenage boy. The sound of his laughter had an ugly ring. When the judge dismissed the jury, the young woman I'd been counting on shot me an apologetic glance. I wanted to shout, "Why didn't you hold out, for God's sake?" Because the verdict of the jury had to be unanimous to convict or acquit. Even one juror who refused to buckle would have meant a hung jury. If she'd hung them up, we would get a new trial, and I'd get another shot. And I wanted another shot at Max James. I despised that man.